From KCRG TV 9, this is First Alert Weather Now.
Well, good evening and welcome to this Friday edition of First Alert Weather Now. I'm meteorologist AJ Rickman. I'll be your host for the night, and we're going to be going over quite a bit in our show tonight. We'll have a look at Beyond the Weather with our chief meteorologist, Joe Winters, have a look at some stargazing opportunities. We're also going to look at some things that are going on around the country. Our weather's been a little busier here in Iowa. It's been busier around the rest of the U.S. as well. We've got everything from snowstorms to wildfires that we will be getting to tonight. But first, looking a little bit closer range and at things that are impacting you on a day-to-day basis, we have a look at what you need to know as you go through the short term. Tonight, we're going to be seeing those clouds increase gradually. We'll be turning mostly cloudy through the overnight hours, and that is going to come ahead of our next rain chance. That'll be arriving as we get through the day on Saturday. And then we are going to see a diminishing trend in those showers. By the time we get to the end of the day Sunday, everyone will be dry, but at the start of the day, some of our northern areas might see a little bit of lingering shower activity. Right now, as we have a look over Prairie du Chien, it's a dark night out there. The sun did set over an hour ago already, and we're seeing our temperatures drop into the 40s and 50s, so be ready for a bit of a cool night, and it is going to be a calm night as well. We do have our next storm system that is off to our southwest that is currently producing some rain and a good bit of snow in the Rockies, and it'll be working our way, bringing us cloud cover and rain as we go through the next 24 hours. So for the rest of your night, we're going to have those temperatures dropping into the 40s. Clouds will be increasing, and then, like I said, we are going to be watching for that rain to build in as we go through the day on Saturday. So with us getting into the weekend and dealing with that rain, could have a little bit of an impact on some of your activities. So for a closer look at what we have going on and how the weather might impact it, we'll have a look at today's forecast for fun with meteorologist Joe Winters.
Our forecast for fun is going to include a football game on Friday night. We'll have that coming up for the Iowa game over at the Rose Bowl forecast. But if you're biking this weekend, Saturday probably not a great day, but look as we move through the weekend. Later on Sunday and then again into Monday, we are looking at our temperatures getting up into the mid to upper 50s. We are looking at drier conditions other than Saturday and a few lingering showers on Sunday. Driftless Bird Day happens in Lansing on Saturday. We've been talking about it. There will be some showers around from time to time. It's going to be later in the day, though, I think. Bird watching, guest speakers, self-guided tours, about 53 degrees. And don't forget, going on Saturday as well, it's just beginning to end. We're going to see the Holiday Arts Festival at the Waterloo Center for the Arts. 51 degrees with some rain on Saturday, but again, that event is inside. The college kickoff forecast, 8 o'clock tonight, not far from right now, 63 degrees. Iowa, of course, taking on UCLA over in the Rose Bowl. Beautiful weather in Southern California. As we head into our Saturday games, UNI kicks off at 1 o'clock. Illinois State's in town. 54 the high outside the dome with some rain, but of course, perfect weather inside the dome. It's a 2:30 kickoff for Iowa State taking on Kansas. Also, the possibility of some rain in the area could play a role in the game, certainly. 56 degrees, a bit stronger south-southeast wind expected at 5 to 10. Enjoy the games, enjoy your weekend, and I hope you enjoyed your forecast for fun.
Now, your First Alert forecast with meteorologist AJ Rickman.
Do you have any fun activities for tonight? Maybe some high school playoff games that are going to be going on across eastern Iowa. The weather's going to be pretty nice for it. Right now in Coralville, we are seeing pretty good conditions. Traffic's moving along nicely. It's a little bit heavy down there, but it is moving. And like I said, those temperatures right now are in the 40s in Dubuque and Waterloo. Cedar Rapids, we're still sitting in the 50s. So your First Alert forecast, rain is the big thing we're going to be concerned with over the next 24 hours. Through the night, we are going to stay dry. So like I said, any outdoor plans you might have tonight or those football games that will be going on should be in good shape as we go through our Friday night. But then it's going to be early into Saturday morning that we are watching for that next rain chance to develop, and that'll be impacting us through the day tomorrow. So for tonight, our lows drop into the upper 30s in some of our northeast areas. Farther south and west you go, the warmer you'll find it. 45 is your warm spot in Oskaloosa. And then for tomorrow, we're going to have that cloud cover and rain, keeping things a little cooler than we've been for the last couple of days. Highs are going to be right around that 50-degree mark in a lot of places. 53 in Waterloo, 51 in Tama, 50 over in Charles City, and 54 will be your warm spot over in Maquoketa. Now we are watching that rain moving in, like I mentioned, Through the night tonight, clouds will slowly increase. By the time we get to 6 a.m. on Saturday morning, we're seeing mostly cloudy skies across much of eastern Iowa. Your clearest spots will be off to the northeast, but we're going to see even those places turn cloudy by the time we get to the lunch hour on Saturday. Scattered activity working its way through. It's not going to be a total washout of a day. It won't be raining all day long, but you'll want to have a rain jacket or an umbrella with you because as we go through the day, passing showers will more than likely have an impact on you at one point or another. As we get to the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to see those showers continue to work through. They'll start to diminish a little bit as we get into the overnight hours of Saturday night. And then as we get into the start of your day on Sunday, another round of rain comes through. Looks like right now this second round is going to be impacting more of our northern areas, generally along and north of the Highway 30 corridor. And then that moves out by the time we get to noon on Sunday. And other than just an isolated lingering shower here, sprinkle here or there, the second half of your Sunday does look dry, and we'll see those skies starting to turn clear by the time we get to the end of your day on Sunday. So this next round of rain we're looking at, as I mentioned, rainfall is going to be pretty scattered, generally light. Wouldn't expect to see much more than a quarter inch in some of our rainiest locations as we head through Saturday and into Sunday. We are watching for our next rain chance to arrive, though, as we get into the middle of the week. Here we are Wednesday morning. We're watching our next storm system come through. That gives us another shot at some rain that sticks around until we get to Wednesday evening, but then that moves out by the time we get to Thursday. Now, on top of the rain we're getting this weekend, combining that with the rain we're going to get middle of the week next week, could see generally quarter to a half an inch, so we're not looking at a very soggy weather pattern coming up. We are also going to be a little bit warmer than normal as we go through the next couple of days. You'll see that reflected in your 9-day forecast, where we do have those highs that are pretty consistently in the 50s as we go through the end of your 9-day forecast. That rain chance this weekend and next week both highlighted, lows in the 30s and 40s. Now, the other thing going on, not in Iowa, but across the rest of the country, we do have wildfires that are burning along both the East Coast and the West Coast. Over in California, the mountain fire has destroyed hundreds of homes. Here you can see it burning in Santa Paula, which is about 66 miles north of Los Angeles. Over in New Jersey, crews are battling fires while dealing with the driest conditions they have seen in more than a century. CNN's Lee Waldman takes us through it all.
Everything got destroyed. We didn't have time to do anything but leave. The fire moved so fast, the wind was so fast, you couldn't even move.
The fast-moving mountain fire sparked Wednesday in Southern California. Over 20,000 acres have burned, fueled in part by powerful Santa Ana winds. Richard Galante's home is just one of more than 130 structures left in ruin, at least 88 more damaged.
There's no stopping it.
Weather conditions so extreme, forecasters issued a particularly dangerous situation red flag warning for the potential of life-threatening fire behavior. At least 10 confirmed injuries have been reported with the mountain fire, but none are considered life-threatening. Today, fire conditions are expected to improve.
We are going to be able to make a lot of good progress out on the ground and the air, cooling down those hot spots and trying to keep it from spreading.
Meanwhile, along the East Coast, at least 4 brush fires continue to burn in New Jersey. Authorities say conditions are the driest they have been in 120 years, while the fire is egged on by winds and low humidity.
There's no dampness. You pick up leaves, they crunch in your hand like powder. It's going to be dangerous.
The ongoing drought conditions and gusty winds have prompted red flag warnings for over 50 million people across the region, including Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. In New York, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
And while we have fires burning on the east and west coast, we have snow piling up in eastern and southeastern parts of Colorado. A snowstorm started hitting the state yesterday and is expected to continue into tomorrow morning. This is making travel difficult to impossible in parts of Denver, and here you can see trucks and cars stuck on city roads where up to 14 inches of snow is expected.
It's a pretty big issue. I mean, I've talked to a couple other drivers while I was here, and we're stuck. So, and not making money, which, it's almost Christmas now, so that affects our families.
The snowstorm is also slamming parts of New Mexico. And here's a live look from Denver where you can see a lot of snow just falling through the camera. You can't see much else other than that snowflakes, but they have been dealing with snow for the last several days. Of course, it's been piling up and creating a lot of impacts with their weather. and that is something that we'll continue to keep an eye on. And eventually that snow will be making its way towards us, but in the meantime, it's hitting the Rockies pretty hard. Now, we do have some busy weather going on in Iowa as well, not fires and not snowstorms, but we do have that off and on rain chance. In between there, though, we do have some clear skies, and that does offer some opportunities for stargazing. So for a little more information on some chances for looking up at the sky, let's take a look beyond the weather with meteorologist Joe Winters.
Once again this month, we are joined by Chris Cardos with the Cedar Amateur Astronomers to talk about what we can see during the month of November. We're already through the 5th day of the month, but of course, always things going on to see. Chris, what are some of the highlights that you can tell us about?
Well, there are actually several meteor showers this month. We have the northern and southern Taurids. Actually, right now is about the best time, if we had clear skies, to see them, because the moon is near a new moon, and so the skies will be darker. Even with the dark skies, you're probably only going to see about maybe 5 to 10 per hour. That meteor shower continues. That's the northerns that are happening right now. The southerns peak a little bit later in the month, but there's going to be a lot more moonlight, so they'll be a little harder to see. The Leonids also happen later in the month. Towards the mid-month, there's an interesting progression of planets that can be seen pretty much all in the same night. If you look up in the sky after sunset in mid-month, you'll have a chance to see Mercury and Venus and Saturn and Neptune and Uranus and Jupiter and Mars. All at a little bit different times, but they're all in the fairly early evening after dark. Finally, the last thing I really had to mention is we're going to have a very nice presentation for our public night on November 23rd at 7:30 p.m. University of Iowa professor Bill Kurth, who will be giving a talk on the Voyager satellites. And if you've been paying attention to the news recently, there was some excitement because Voyager lost communication and ended up reverting back to a S-band radio antenna that hasn't been used since the early 1980s, I believe. And so they finally reestablished contact, and that was pretty exciting. Those two satellites, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, are actually in interstellar space, meaning they're beyond the influence of our sun and our solar system. So that's pretty exciting stuff, I think.
Yeah, Chris, I remember when that was mentioned in the news. I know it was pretty exciting as well. One quick question for you on viewing meteor showers. What tips do you have for someone that wants to go out and see the meteor showers that you mentioned?
Okay, well, the first thing is to find the darkest skies that you can, and then give your eyes time to acclimate to the dark. So if you have any bright lights in the vicinity, try and put them out of your line of sight, and give yourself 10-15 minutes for your eyes to adapt. Then, of course, this time of year, you want to dress warm because it's likely to be pretty chilly out there. And if you're looking for meteor showers that are only delivering 5 to 10 meteors per hour, you might want to stay out there a while to try and see them. So stay warm.
Yeah, no, those are some great tips, especially as we head through these latter parts of the month. Chris Cardos with the Cedar Amateur Astronomers, we thank you for joining us once again, and we look forward to hearing from you once again with the things that we have during the month of December. That is our look today beyond the weather.
And as we do have the opportunity to get a look at some of the stars coming up in a couple of days, it'll be some nice meteor showers to look for. However, we aren't going to have much of a stargazing opportunity as we get into the first part of your weekend, as we do have a look at that Saturday rain chance. We're going to be seeing best chance during the day for the rain, but then clouds are going to linger as we go into the night on Saturday. Of course, tonight we're going to see those clouds building in as well, so that will hinder some of that stargazing opportunity. But then as we get into Sunday, we're going to start to see that rain taper off as we head through the day, and then by the time we get to the end of your day on Sunday, we're going to be seeing clearing skies, and then Veterans Day looks fantastic. We're going to be seeing plenty of sunshine, highs in the 50s, and really all through our 9-day. If you'll notice, our highs are very consistent, mid to upper 50s each and every day. Feels great out there, but believe it or not, that is actually quite a bit above average. We do have those temperatures, warmer than normal air, sticking around the Midwest, and it's not really going anywhere anytime soon. As we have a look at that warmer air that's going to be hanging around, our overnight lows are going to be in the 30s and 40s, which again, by this time of year, our average low is about 30. So we're running about 10 degrees above normal on average with those low temperatures. Same with our high temperatures. And of course, with those lows above freezing, highs above freezing, all of the precipitation we're getting right now is in liquid form, but it won't be too much longer before we are getting those first flurries of the season. And of course, when that does arrive, some folks will be thrilled about it, others won't be so much. But in the meantime, we do have some nice weather, something for everybody, a little bit of rain, a little bit of sun, and our temperatures aren't going to be that bad. So that brings us to the end of today's First Alert Weather Now. Thank you so much for joining, and we will look forward, or Corey and Hannah rather, will look forward to seeing you first thing on Monday at 6:30.